G'day and welcome to the channel. This week we're off on an overnight camping adventure in our tiny boat. Join us for some diving, wildlife encounters, and the perfect secluded campsite for a quick getaway. Let's go.
I remember the cramped feeling of not being able to walk around.
You getting trauma?
Yeah.
Boat launched, go park up, we'll be on the way. We're new to this, so launching the boat can be a bit stressful. Lara's out in the boat at the moment, pottering around. We'll go get loaded up, and tonight we're planning to be camping at a place called Lime Bay. The wind is due to blow up in the next few hours, so hopefully we'll get a smoother run than we did at Shooting Island. Do you want me to drive, or do you want to drive?
Whoa, that got
got?
whoa. That's huge. It looks like a shark.
Yeah, actually that's what it'll be. We plan to take our 3.5 metre riverboat about 7 nautical miles from where we launched to our intended destination. And with the wind and swell choppier than forecast, it turned out to be a bit of a bumpy ride. Halfway there! We're looking for a campsite, trying to find somewhere above the high tide line. The coastline around here is mainly sandstone, forming these rocky bluffs meeting the sea. And with the wind coming from the east, we found this protected section to look for camp. A little bit of beach where we plan to pull up. There's actually people already camping there. And we've had a look around the corner, but it's all of these cliffs which are spectacular. Nowhere to camp. So I think we're gonna have to plant ourselves with some neighbours. Once we found a suitable spot, we set about getting the boat secured, camp organised, and prepped for an afternoon dive. We're a little bit concerned about the boat drifting away, so I keep checking on the anchor and the line we've got attached to the land. So I come back. Lara's prepared a little spread for us. We've got lots of leftovers from Christmas. It's more like glamping.
Sure is.
What the heck? Head down the corner across to this point. It's called Lobster Point or Cray Point. So I'm sure at some stage crayfish have been caught there. It's quite shallow from what we can see on the charts, but it's worth a look around anyway. Hard work getting all this gear on in Tassie. The reason for all that gear is the cold water, still about 13 degrees Celsius in late December. There'd been a lot of swell around in previous days, stirring everything up, so visibility was poor to start with. We'd never dived here, so it was just an opportunity for an explore, to see what was about. Turns out there was plenty, and I was surprised by the variety of sea life. Dozens of smaller crays on the ledges and in cracks. A few unique pot-bellied seahorses holding onto the grass and weeds. These guys are Tassie's largest and most common species, but always a joy to observe their long snout and large abdomen. And heading out a bit deeper on the sandy bottom, these stingrays and even a draft board shark. I finished the dive with a staring contest with a crayfish and these painted and prickly friends. I just went for a dive around the corner from where we're camping. I was
off looking for a crayfish or some abalone, something to eat tonight. We did bring food with us, but it would be nice to have some fresh seafood. In the end, I might have seen dozens and dozens, maybe even 100 lobsters. There were nests of them, but they were really, really small, maybe about this big. So I got a little bit of footage, but didn't bother taking.
We've just been packing down the boat and Lara spotted this tiny little bird out the back of our tent, and I really mean tiny. I couldn't see it, even when she said, look at the clothesline, there's a white peg, it's the first branch above it. I was scanning, and it wasn't until the bird moved that I could see it. Once we got a bit closer, we saw the yellow, we saw the black, we saw the olive, so we're figuring that it's some type of pardalote. From where we were, we couldn't tell which species it was, but I did manage to grab some footage, so I'll have a look later on.
Yeah, they're pardalotes.
That name, pardalote, comes from ancient Greek, meaning something like spotted like a leopard. Early settlers called them diamond birds because of those dots giving them a bejewelled appearance. We observed what was likely a pair, the female the duller of the two, with some cottony substance in their mouths. But more on that later.
It's nice to get in the water this afternoon. I didn't have huge expectations. I really didn't even think I'd see crayfish. I was always hoping to do so because I just love getting after them. I saw a few fish species, a couple of different starfish, and then I saw those very recognisable red chopsticks that stick out from the ledges. As I said before, none of them were sized, but it was great to see so many. Also, around the corner from where we are, there's quite a few cruisers, sailboats and leisure boats, so I imagine it's reasonably heavily potted.
Just a quick one, we've been getting out to some wild places recently and catching some big crayfish, so subscribe for more adventures. Back to the video.
We buried this ore before, over 1/2 metre, so we've got 3 points. We've got some driftwood, a big log which is massively stuck down in the sand. We've got this line and we've got an anchor out the back. But before this sun inks away, I might get the drone up in the air.
This trip was thrown together last minute to take advantage of a window in the weather. We launched our little boat just over 30 minutes from Hobart, Tassie's capital, but we felt another world away.
Above the shoreline here, there's a steep embankment. There's lots and lots of very dry wood, so it should be hard to start a fire. Still, I carry these with me. These are just cotton balls, or cotton wool, and I sort of rub them in some Vaseline, make for really good fire starters.
Tonight we're just having a lazy dinner. It's a strive meal with pasta, pesto, chicken and broccoli. A strive meal is a Tassie brand. They make pre-packaged hiking food and camping food.
See what I did at the bottom? Despite having a really quiet, peaceful campsite, didn't sleep the best last night. Still, the sun gets up about 5:30, so don't have too much choice but to get up with it. Just set a fire up so it can be warm for Lara when she gets up. She'll be up really shortly. Just going to take the boat around the corner and throw a line in for half an hour or so. It's out in these waters. I saw that huge southern eagle ray down here in Tassie. I don't have too many rays, but the main species that I see, it's a giant. It's called the smooth stingray. And very often when you're scuba diving around looking for abalone or southern rock lobster, I think because you agitate the water, you stir everything up, so they'll come and be quite curious and inquisitive, but they're probably getting a feed out of it too. All of a sudden when you catch something in your peripheral vision, often it's those monster smooth stingrays, and it's given me the fright of my life a few times. I'm gonna throw a line in, try and catch a flathead. Something big enough to scream away with some of my line. Just took the hook, and guess what? I forgot the tackle box. So I'm gonna head back. We've picked Lara up, and she hasn't been here too long, but she's just hooked a fish. Here we go. Just look. Flatty! Oh, you foul hooked him.
It feels a little bigger.
Yeah. Bring him in. Oh, he got off.
Much bigger.
Do you reckon it would have been size?
Probably not.
Oh well, go again.
Lucky day, fish. A flatty.
Nice, I reckon that's size.
Yeah, it might be.
Keep it in. Well done.
Thanks.
Happy days.
Nice. Looks decent. I have one.
Nice.
Oh no, I just got off. Look at it.
Is it big?
No, it wasn't that big.
Bring him in. Hold this. And put the swinger in.
The flatty were biting and letting go, apparently.
That was definitely.
But then Lara spotted some dolphins, so we went to see if they were up for a play. That's got to be the highlight of the trip. Lara spotted a couple of dolphins just cruising through near this little island. So we putted over just to say g'day and see if they were interested in playing, and they were. So once we got onto a course, we stayed straight and they stuck with us, and they were massive. Honestly,
almost the length of the boat. It was so cool. Like, if I didn't know, but I didn't already know that they were dolphins, they were the size of a big shark. It was amazing to see. Our plan was to get away before the wind kicked up too much, which it hasn't yet, so we're looking okay. Lara said before she wanted to leave at 9:30, but she's got that fish fever.
Yeah.
It's already 9:30.
I want to catch them all now.
We're going to start the job of cleaning up in a moment's time, but Lara's going for a quick swim whilst I secure the boat. I was filming the whole time in my pocket.
We just have some leftover mince pies from Christmas, some cream. Another lazy breakfast.
Just next to our beach camp, we've got these cliffs that give us some natural protection from the wind that blew up last night. See all these different mineral deposits that result in these different colours and swirls. Cool, look at this. This area was frequented by the southernmost people of the eastern tribes of Tasmania, the Pidayuma people. These are evidence of middens. So this would have been a good wintering spot for the Pidayuma people. And these middens of different types of shells, I can see scallops. This is the Angazi oyster, or the native oyster, would have been the main fare during those periods. And they've just built up over literally tens of thousands of years. When the Europeans came along, only in the last couple of 100 years, they would crush and burn this to make fertilizer, plaster, things like that. It's a lot of work to pack up and then pack down all of the gear just for a one-night stop, but we enjoy it. This is the time we had, so make the most of it. A pardalote friend is back, like I told me. I can even see it from here. Just its yellow chest. See if Lara can stay still enough. I'll use her as my tripod again.
Oh,
Bugger.
it might come back.
Yeah, give it a sec.
It's so beautiful.
Wow, there's so much detail, so much colour variation in them. We've just noticed it fly into a hole.
Oh, cute.
Did you go in that hole?
Yeah. Come back.
In the muddy bank. So maybe that's where it keeps its eggs. We don't know. I mean, it's been hanging around where our campsite was, so perhaps we were intruders. We were romancing up the fact that it just liked us, but maybe not. Now, both of the birds have this, it looks like a cottony substance. We thought it was an insect to start with at the end of their beaks, but now I'm thinking maybe it's like a fungal disease or a bacteria. All right, we'll look it up and see if we can find out.
There's this little hole in there.
We did a bit of research and learnt it is common for pardalotes to excavate their homes in earth banks just like these, creating a lined chamber at the end for their nests. And that cottony substance? I believe lerps. Yep, lerps. Sugary insect excretions created by tiny sap-sucking insects, a favoured food of the pardalote.
Life jackets.
Life jacket. All right. We're back home. We're almost all packed up. We spent all afternoon packing up, really. In fact, we're still drying a few things out. So now we're YouTubing videos about how to clean them. Got a mouth like you.
Hungry.
But now we're going to have a go at cleaning these fish up. Someone told us the fish frames and guts are good for the garden, so we're going to throw them in the veggie patch.
As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe to support the channel. It's free and helps us grow. See you next week for more adventures.